During the Cookout 400, the drama unfolded on the track. Bubba Wallace and his boss, Denny Hamlin, were fighting for a spot in the Cup Series race at the Richmond Raceway. But as emotions rose, things took an unexpected turn, and Bubba became enraged. But what happened between these 2311 racing drivers to make everyone nervous? Find out in our gripping video as we get into the intense rivalry and events that enraged Bubba Wallace like never before. Don't miss out, subscribe to our channel, and hit that like button for more whereabouts on NASCAR. Emotions were running wild for Bubba Wallace at Richmond Raceway on that sweltering Sunday. The day kicked off with a heartfelt tribute to his buddy's family, and it ended with a great bunch of points, although the finish could have been better. In the Cookout 400 of the NASCAR Cup Series, Wallace showed his strength, leading the pack for a whopping 80 laps and raking in an extra 16 points with top 5 finishes in both stages. But darn, on that final restart, things got shuffled around, and he had to settle for a 12th place spot. Thankfully, his performance still helped him maintain 15th place in the provisional playoff standings, now a solid 54 points ahead of the elimination line. Can you believe he doubled his pre-race margin? That's impressive. After the race, as he was cooling down, he chatted with his number 23 crew over the radio and said, "Good points, day." But you could hear the weight in his voice, and he let out a deep sigh. The day was bittersweet, no doubt. But how? He was fighting for a spot in the NASCAR playoffs, and things got heated as he battled his own team co-owner, Denny Hamlin. The race was all about tire strategy, and those Toyotas were lightning fast. In Stage 1, Tyler Reddick took the stage win, with Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin close behind. It was a thrilling finish to the stage, but when the final stage came around, the track position became critical, and Hamlin wasn't willing to give an inch to his driver. The NBC broadcast mentioned that Wallace wasn't too happy with Hamlin. They didn't reveal exactly what was said on the radio, but it was clear that there was some frustration between Wallace and his boss. Despite the tension, Bubba Wallace had a strong showing throughout the afternoon. He had the speed and was one of the best restarters in NASCAR this season, giving him an advantage in certain situations. However, as the race progressed, both Wallace and Tyler Reddick seemed to lose speed. Whatever magic they had in their cars early on seemed to have been used up by the final 30 laps. Wallace fought hard, but he couldn't quite make it to the front, settling for a top 10 finish when the checkered flag waved, while Denny Hamlin nearly followed up his 50th NASCAR Cup Series victory the week before at Pocono Raceway with a win at Richmond Raceway on Sunday. His time at the front was a familiar story, as was some chance touch with Kyle Larson along the road. Chris Buescher, the eventual Cookout 400 winner, drove away from the number 11 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota in the last restart with 3 laps remaining to win by .549 seconds. The result was Hamlin's 4th top 5 finish in the last 8 races, moving him up to 2nd in the Cup Series standings, 39 points behind JGR teammate Martin Truex Jr. in the regular season championship chase. Although it wasn't the ending they had hoped for, this was still Bubba Wallace's best performance and weekend ever at Richmond. He surprised everyone with his impressive stage points and gained significant ground towards securing his spot in the playoffs. While a win might have eluded him this time, Wallace's efforts helped him build a solid points lead above the playoff cut line. It was a hard-fought race, and Bubba left everything out on the track, proving that he's a force to be reckoned with in NASCAR. What are your thoughts on Bubba Wallace battling his team co-owner Denny Hamlin during the Cookout 400? Tell us in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button for more updates. Right from the start, the team was carrying a heavy heart. Freddie Kraft, Wallace's spotter for a long time, couldn't make it to the race because his father had passed away earlier that week. So, in a touching gesture, Wallace covered up his own name on the driver's door and wrote Tommy Kraft's name with a Sharpie. The other spotters marked off Freddie's spot in the spotter's stand to pay their respects. During the pace laps, Wallace made sure to honor Freddie and his family over the radio. He shared in the post-race interview, "Once I get past the frustration, I know it was a really good day for us, emotional day. I just happened to look right at the door. Freddie's dad passed away, so racing with a lot there. He was driving the expletive out of it. You know, I told him at the start of the race, like, I'm just gonna sit back and let him wheel it. And man, we were awesome." When Stage 2 rolled around, Wallace took the lead and held his own at a track where he hadn't led more than 1 lap in his 10 previous Cup Series starts. But you know how racing goes, even the best teams face challenges. During a pit stop in Stage 2, there was a hiccup when the car didn't lift off the jack properly during the right side tire change. That cost them some extra time, but Wallace stayed positive, telling his crew, 10-4, we're fine. Let me work, it'll come back to us. His crew chief, Robert "Booty" Barker, acknowledged the mistake but was pleased with the team's overall performance, saying, "Good day, but we were better than that. We made a mistake. We still make some mistakes. I wish we'd get rid of those, but we're getting better. But overall, a good day. Wallace himself shared his thoughts, saying, "Just had a hiccup of a pit stop, but just never really recovered. Like the balance just went away. Man, it's just hard. This place is tough, you know. Finding the right line and the right balance, and we just fell off of it. So, one of the best here had the worst final restart, Harvick, and held us up, unfortunately, but it is what it is. We finished 12th. All in all, a good point day today. I don't know where we're at. We've got a pretty good gap, I'm assuming, so it's a good day." And indeed, that day's performance gave Wallace some breathing room in the playoff standings. While his closest competitors faced troubles, he maintained his 15th place, with Michael McDowell sitting in the 16th and final provisional playoff spot. Wallace's lead over the elimination line was steady at plus 18, even gaining a point on the other contenders, though he did lose some ground to McDowell. The race was full of ups and downs for Michael McDowell and the number 34 Front Row Motorsports team. They tried a daring one-stop strategy during the second stage, while most other drivers went for a safer two-stop plan. It looked like it could pay off when McDowell led for 9 laps during the pit shakeup, but things didn't go as planned. The sluggish pit stop and some bad luck put him back in 23rd place and 1 lap down by the end of stage 2. Ouch. Travis Peterson, the number 34 crew chief, was disappointed with how things turned out. He felt they had a way faster car than in previous races at Richmond, but the strategy didn't pan out. Peterson took responsibility and apologized to all fans supporting the 34 team. He was baffled by why it didn't work out as expected, and admitted that they should have stuck with what everyone else was doing. He believed they could have easily finished in the top 15 if they had done that. But hey, at least McDowell wasn't the only one facing difficulties that day. Daniel Suarez started and finished in 33rd place, dealing with 4 laps off the pace after getting involved with the only on-track incident that brought out a caution flag. And AJ Allmendinger, who had a rough start by skipping qualifying to participate in the Xfinity Series, only managed to finish in 27th place. Rookie Ty Gibbs benefited from all those troubles, moving into the first spot just outside the playoff cutoff, trailing by 18 points after finishing 15th at Richmond. On the brighter side, both Bubba Wallace and Michael McDowell got some help from Chris Buescher's first victory of the season. Buescher was ahead of them in the standings, and that win had an impact on the playoff picture, which the number 23 team kept a close eye on. Every point matters as the regular season nears its end, and the 16-driver postseason field is about to be determined. The next race in NASCAR is on August 7th at 12 a.m., and it'll be held at the Michigan International Speedway. The track is known for its high-speed 2-mile D-shaped oval layout. Drivers will navigate the wide turns and long straightaways, providing plenty of opportunities for thrilling side-by-side racing. So that's all we've got for today. We hope you enjoyed it. Tell us what you think of the video in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you in the upcoming video.